Hey everyone, it's Nora from Nora's Acre. It is a beautiful spring day in Wisconsin and our garlic is looking amazing. It is so tall. Since we fertilized it just 2 weeks ago, it has grown so much. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, fertilizing your garlic. So in this video today, we'll talk about why you would want to fertilize your garlic, how you do it, and when you do it. First things first, why would you want to fertilize your garlic? The main reason is because garlic has a very long growing season and it is a heavy feeder. So you plant your garlic in October and then you don't harvest it until about July. So that's about 9 months of growing. And as I mentioned, garlic is a heavy feeder, which just means that it needs a lot of nutrients to support that growth during that 9 months of growing. And if you fertilize it, then that's going to help you get big, beautiful bulbs. And then the other reason, and this is more specific to us and could be more specific to other people who have a smaller growing space, is that we plant our garlic in the same spot every year. And that's just due to the fact that we don't have enough space to put it somewhere else. So since we plant it in the same spot every year, we want to make sure that we're replenishing the soil and giving the garlic the nutrients that it needs by fertilizing it. So as I mentioned, we first started fertilizing our garlic 2 weeks ago and it's already grown like 10 to 12 inches. So speaking of when you're going to fertilize your garlic, let's talk about that next. Before we get into when you want to fertilize your garlic, I just want to mention that we're talking specifically about hardneck garlic here. So we live in Wisconsin in a cold climate, so we only grow hardneck garlic, and hardneck garlic produces scapes. If you don't know what scapes are, we did a video that dives into that subject, so I'll include a link below. But with that being said, I wanted to mention the scapes portion of it because we time our fertilization of our garlic based on scapes. So according to the specific garlic fertilizer that we have, we start fertilizing it in early spring. So specifically for us, we did it mid-April, and then we're gonna stop fertilizing it once scapes emerge. And we know that scapes emerge in about mid-June. So we started in mid-April, we'll end in mid-June, and we wanna give it 4 fertilizations in between that time. So we fertilize it about every 2 weeks in that time period. So mid-April to mid-June, every 2 weeks. And then that gives us 4 times that we're going to be fertilizing our garlic. We also fertilize our garlic when we plant it. So we incorporate it into the soil at double the planting rate when we actually plant that in October. And then we also do a fertilization soak with our garlic before we even plant that. And we have a lot of videos that go into these subjects. We do a lot of videos on growing garlic, so I'll include a playlist to our growing garlic playlist in the link in the description below. So now that we've talked about when you fertilize your garlic, let's get into how you actually do it. Now let's get into what we're using to fertilize our garlic and how we do it. So we are using this specialized organic garlic fertilizer blend from Keen Garlic. We are not sponsored by them, but we just think that they have really high quality products and they have really good garlic growing supplies. So this is specifically formulated as 5-2-2 on the NPK ratio, so it's high in nitrogen. It has feather meal, compost, and a lot of other micronutrients in it as well. So now let's get into the how, which is pretty simple. All you have to do is calculate how much you need for your square footage. We have 32 square feet in each of our beds, so that comes out to 2 cups of fertilizer per bed, which conveniently fits in a pint-sized mason jar. So we just pour it into this mason jar and then we're just going to sprinkle it over the garlic. And then after we do that, we'll water it in so that way it can soak into the ground. So as you can see, it's pretty simple. Like I said, we really like using this organic garlic fertilizer blend that we get from Keen Garlic, but there's other fertilizers out there that I'm sure you could use as well. As I mentioned before, we have a lot of videos that go into all the different aspects of growing garlic, so I'll include a link to that playlist below. And if you learned something from this video today, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so that way you can stay up to date on how our garlic progresses throughout the season.